Little update on my 78 GMC. We pulled the nose off today. So I can put the drivetrain in, but I'm also doing the little bodywork on the couple dings here and there. Nothing major, little spot putty. See where I welded the holes in from the emblem. And inside here I just had to touch a little, I had to use a slide hammer to make this fender line up to the door. So there's a few little dings in there. And same thing on this side. One coat of little spot putty should do it. Here's this fender. Hoping to have them primered tomorrow. They don't need much. The main thing is, I took this transmission off the engine. This was the Chevy tranny. It had an adapter plate to my Caddy motor. And I'm not going to use that anymore. So I'm using the correct transmission bell housing. Here's the way the motor sits in the frame. I just had to put it in so I can make exhaust. Then I got to take it all back apart and paint everything. But you can see, here's the clearances for the exhaust. Here's my finger. You can get a good finger. I mean, it's tight with the wiring in back here. I gotta remake my little starter. I started making it, if you can see in there. It's a metal tube that runs down to the starter. It was a little different now that I got the adapter plate off. This motor's coming out of this frame a couple times, with this radiator never been disconnected yet. But you can see my motor mounts, kind of. I don't know if you can see in there, tight. Other side has more room. This side you can see a lot better. Here's the mount that I made. I reworked the pads, so the mounts just sit on this factory pad. Just removed it, cut it, welded it, whatever I had to do. And you can see here's my new fuel lines. They're not finished. There's no ends on them yet. This should be in a good spot. I'll know more when the power steering pump goes in. I think there's plenty of clearance. It's been a while. This side, the manifold, tons of room. You can see exhaust, plenty. The only place is a little tight. Like I said, I did shave the side of the brace reinforcements, whatever you want to call it, for the booster at one time. So I shaved it in here. And there's a good finger in here. But I think I'm going to actually shave that back straight up, because putting this motor in was really tight. We actually touched the valve cover, so I think I just clearance it a little bit. It's not going to hurt anything. And get to the tranny. I got to get new bolts for the transmission and bushings before I can bolt the cross member up. And it's all covered in blanket. But this is the transmission from a 77 Cadillac Turbo 400 with a 205 transfer case, which you probably can't really see because it's covered in blanket. I put a blanket on it so I wouldn't scuff the truck up putting it in. But I still got to get new mounts for the cross member, new bolts. Then I can make the exhaust. Yeah, this radiator has been on the truck for 20 something years. But I keep this motor running as much as I can. I can still start it all the time. But yeah, these caddies fit right in here perfect. You see the clearance for the shroud, or I should say for the fan. So I got about 3 fingers clearance. It actually fits right into the factory big block shroud perfectly. I'll get some video of that when the nose goes back on, which will be not too far in the future. Hopefully by Monday the nose will be back on. But yeah, this is how they fit in here. Pretty easy. They look perfect. I do got to change that dipstick tube, put the truck one back on. It comes forward a little more, it's easier to get to. Don't really have to. We'll see. But I figured hopefully in another couple months I'll be able to take this back apart. So I can reseal the motor, do the transmission and transfer case over. We'll see. A lot of work. Lots of stuff to do. Well, that's my truck now. I'll do another one as soon as I get the nose back on.